If the lysine content of your feed is poor, your pigs will have delayed growth, because without lysine, your pigs cannot efficiently use all the other amino acids that will contribute to their growth and development. My name is Angela, and today we are going to look at how to determine or calculate the lysine content in your feed. Because you have to know, is the lysine in your feed enough, or do you need to add some lysine supplements to your feed in order to meet the required amount? What is even the lysine content required for pigs? At the starter stage, pigs require a different amount of lysine. At the grower stage, they require a different amount of lysine. And at the finisher stage, they also require a different amount of lysine. So we are going to take all the stages one by one and then look at the lysine required. And then we'll look at our feed that we've previously prepared to see if the lysine in it is enough. And if you also prepare your own feed using your own ingredients, you can also calculate the lysine content of your feed using these steps. So let's get right into it. Let me clarify this before we even delve into all the figures. What is lysine? Lysine is basically an amino acid that is needed in protein synthesis. And in pigs, it is usually the first limiting amino acid. Let me break this down. When I say it is the first limiting amino acid, you know that pig feed is supposed to contain certain amino acids such as lysine, methionine, tryptophan, leucine. There are several amino acids that are supposed to be in the pig's diet. And for several feed combinations that we make, it is usually this lysine, this amino acid called lysine, that is usually limited, or that is usually present in lower quantities than the pig actually needs. So usually we have to supplement our feed with this lysine. And then the next amino acid that's also limiting is methionine. Usually when you prepare your feed and the lysine content meets up with the requirements, all the other amino acids are usually also like okay. Lysine is usually limited in pigs' feed, especially when they are mainly fed plant-based diet. Why is this so? Because the lysine content that is in these ingredients is lower than that in fish-based diets. So what I'm basically saying is that plant feeds such as maize, soybeans, wheat, bran, they have a lower lysine content compared to the others like fishmeal, bone meal. They have a higher lysine content than these plant-based ingredients. That being said, lysine is very high in the protein ingredients. So when you take soybeans and fishmeal, they both have higher protein than the other ingredients, than the maize, the wheat bran. Remember I said lysine is an amino acid, and basically proteins are long chains of amino acids. So when proteins break down, we get these amino acids. So with this said, it makes sense that protein ingredients like soybeans and then fish meal will have higher lysine content than the other carbohydrates and fiber ingredients. What is the importance of lysine? The main function of lysine is that it helps in building and maintaining muscle in the pigs. So for younger pigs, it helps them in building the muscles, and then as the pig grows, now the lysine together with other amino acids will help the pig to maintain the muscle that it has developed. So let's look at the lysine content in the ingredients. Maize has a lysine content of about 0.2 to 0.3%, which is an average of 0.25%. Wheat bran has a lysine content of 0.3 to 0.4%, which is an average of 0.35% lysine. Now, soybeans has a lysine content of about 2.5 to 3%, giving an average of 2.8%. And then fish meal has a lysine content of 4 to 5%, giving an average of 4.5%. So if you look at this from the top, you realize that we are having increasing amount of lysine from the carbohydrates coming to the fibers and then to the proteins. The proteins are having the greatest amount of lysine. And then now looking at the values, you see what I said earlier. The plant-based one, which is the soya beans, has a lesser lysine content than the fish meal. So fish meal has the highest lysine content among all the ingredients. So let's look at the lysine content needed for the different stages of a pig. So at the crib stage, piglets need a lysine content of about 1.2 to 1.5%. And then at the starter stage, they need a lysine content of about 0.95 to 1%. At the grower stage, they need a lysine content of about 0.8 to 0.85%. And then at the finisher stage, they need a lysine content of about 0.65 to 0.7%. So if you look at these values, you realize that we are having decreasing lysine requirements as the pigs grow. Now, why is this so? So you know that when pigs are young, they do not have muscles, so they are now building their muscles. So they need more lysine in order to build muscles. Now, as the pig grows from the starter stage to the grower stage and then coming to the finisher stage, the rate at which they form muscles reduces. So you realize that in the much older pigs, they only need lysine to be able to maintain the muscle that they've already built. So they need lesser amount just to maintain their muscle development. This is a disclaimer. Even though pigs need lysine for their development, an overdose or excess or too much lysine will result in the opposite. We need the pigs to grow. We said lysine will help them build muscles and then grow faster. So this is what an overdose of lysine will do. It will reduce the appetite of your pigs. And what will reduce appetite cause? It will cause reduced growth of your pigs. So do not give your pigs excess lysine above the limits that I have stated. Do not give them above this limit with the mindset that you want them to gain more muscles, so you are giving them more. Do not give an overdose of lysine. Now let's delve into our calculations. How do we know that our feed contains the average amount of lysine needed? So the feed formulations we are going to use are the ones we already prepared. 100 kilograms of crib feed, starter, grower and finisher feeds that we made in the previous video. So now let's take our crib feed that we prepared and then see if the lysine content in it is enough, or we'll have to add supplemental lysine. So this was our formulation of the crib feed. We had 66 kilograms of maize, 23 kilograms of soybeans, and 11 kilograms of fish meal. And we said the lysine content needed in crib feed is 1.2% to 1.5%. So looking at this feed, the total feed is 100 kilograms. So 1.2% of 100 kilograms is 1.2 kilograms. And then 1.5% of 100 kilograms is 1.5 kilograms. So it means that in 100 kilograms of this crib feed formulation, there's supposed to be 1.2 kilograms to 1.5 kilograms of lysine. So let's see if we have enough. So this is the formula we are going to use. The lysine present in each ingredient is equal to the lysine content of the ingredient times the kilograms of that ingredient that we used. Let's bring that table here, the lysine content of the ingredients. Let's put it here so that we can reference. So for maize, it's going to be the lysine content of maize, which is 0.25%, times the kilograms of maize that we used, which was 66 kilograms. And that will give us 0.165 kilograms. Now let's look at that for soybeans. For soybeans, the lysine present in it is going to be the lysine content of soybeans, which is 2.8%, times the kilograms of soybeans that we used, that was 23 kilograms. And that will give us 0.644 kilograms. So let's look at fish meal. The lysine present in fish meal is going to be the lysine content of fish meal, which is 4.5%, times the kilograms of fish meal that we used in our feed, that was 11 kilograms. And that will give us 0.495 kilograms. So now let's add up the lysine in all the ingredients and see. That will give us 1.304 kilograms. So are we within range? Yes, we are within range. We said we need 1.2 kilograms to 1.5 kilograms of lysine. And our formulated feed now contains 1.3 kilograms of lysine. So we don't have to add any supplemental lysine to our crib feed. Our crib feed is standard, it meets the lysine requirements. Now let's quickly take our starter feed that we prepared. Remember that for our starter feed we had two formulations. So let's take our starter feed 1. This was what we had. So let's check if our starter feed 1 contains enough lysine, or we need to add some supplemental lysine to it. So the lysine content needed in starter feed we said it is 0.95 to 1%. So our feed that we prepared was 100 kilograms. So 0.95% of 100 kilograms will be 0.95 kilograms, and then 1% of 100 kilograms will be 1 kilogram. So that means that in 100 kilograms of starter feed that we prepared, we need 0.95 kilograms to 1.0 or 1 kilogram of lysine in there. Now let's check if it is true for our feed. So let's put our formula there. So the lysine present in our ingredients that we've used is going to be the lysine content of the ingredients times the kilograms of that ingredient that we use. So for maize, it's going to be 0.25% times 58, which is equal to 0.145 kilograms. For wheat bran, it's going to be 0.35% times 19, which is equal to 0.07. For soya beans, it's going to be 2.8% times 15 kilograms, and that will give us 0.42 kilograms. For fish meal, it's going to be 4.5% times 8 kilograms, and that will give us 0.36 kilograms. So now let's add up and see. Adding up, we are going to have 0.995 kilograms. So do we meet the lysine requirements? Yes, our starter feed 1 meets the lysine requirement of starter feed, which is 0.95 to 1%. We're having 0.995, so we are within range. We don't have to add any supplemental lysine to this starter feed 1. So now let's quickly check the lysine content in starter feed 2. This was the formulation we had for starter feed 2. So now let's go ahead and check the lysine content using the same formula. So now in starter feed 2 for maize, it's going to be 0.25% times 56 kilograms, and that will give us 0.14 kilograms. For wheat bran, it's going to be 0.35% times 19 kilograms, and that will be 0.07 kilograms. And then for soya beans, it's going to be 2.8% times 25 kilograms, and that will be 0.7 kilograms. So now let's add up and see. Adding up, we have 0.91 kilograms of lysine. It means that our starter feed 2 contains 0.91 kilograms of lysine. Are we within range? No. We said we need 0.95 kilograms to 1 kilogram, and we are having only 0.91 kilograms. It means that our starter feed 2 needs some supplemental lysine. And how much supplemental lysine do we need? So let's subtract 0.95 minus 0.91, and that will be 0.4 kilograms, which is 40 grams. And then using the maximum value, which is 1 kilogram, 1 minus 0.91, and that will give us 0.09 kilograms, which is 90 grams. So it means that for starter feed 2, we have to add 40 to 90 grams of lysine. I hope that's okay. So the 40 to 90 grams, you can take the average of it and add that to your feed. Now let's move on to our grower feed that we prepared and check its lysine content to see if we need any supplemental lysine in there. Remember that we said that the lysine content needed in grower feed is 0.8% to 0.85%. This was the formulation we had for our grower feed 1. So now let's check its lysine content. Remember we said that the lysine present in each ingredient is going to be the lysine content of the ingredient times the kilograms of that ingredient that was used in preparing the feed. So for maize, it's going to be 0.25% times 62 kilograms, which will be equal to 0.155 kilograms. And then for wheat bran, it's going to be 0.35% times 20 kilograms, which will be equal to 0.07 kilograms. And then for soya beans, it's going to be 2.8% times 12 kilograms, and that will be equal to 0.336. And then for fish meal, it's going to be 4.5% times 6 kilograms, and that will be equal to 0.27 kilograms. So let's add up and see. Adding up, we are going to get 0.83 kilograms. So are we within range? Yes, we are within range. We said we need 0.8 to 0.85 kilograms, and this feed has 0.83 kilograms. So there's no need to add lysine to this feed. This feed meets the lysine requirements. So now let's take our grower feed 2. This was the formulation we had for our grower feed 2. So now let's find the lysine content in all the ingredients. For maize, it's going to be 0.25% times 53 kilograms, which is equal to 0.13 kilograms. And then for wheat bran, it's going to be 0.35% times 27 kilograms, which is going to be 0.09 kilograms. And then for soya beans, it's going to be 2.8% times 20 kilograms, and that would be 0.56 kilograms. So let's add up. Adding this, we have 0.78 kilograms. So do we meet the lysine requirements? No. We said grower feed needs a lysine content of about 0.8 to 0.85 kilograms of lysine, and this our feed has 0.78. So let's subtract to see the lysine that we need. 0.8 minus 0.78, which will give us 0.02 kilograms, which is equal to 20 grams. And then now 0.85 kilograms minus 0.78 kilograms, and that will also give us 0.07 kilograms, which is 70 grams. So it means that we need to add about 20 grams to 70 grams of lysine. Now let's move on to our finisher feed. For finisher feed, we said it needs to contain a lysine content of about 0.65 to 0.7%. And remember that for our finisher feed, we also made two different feeds. So let's take our finisher feed 1. This was our formulation that we got for our finisher feed 1. So as we already said, to find the lysine in each ingredient used is going to be equal to the lysine content of the ingredient times the kilograms of that ingredient used. The lysine content in our maize is going to be 0.25% times 65 kilograms, and that will give us 0.1625 kilograms. And for our wheat bran, is going to be 0.35% times 22 kilograms, and that will give us 0.077 kilograms. And then for our soya beans, it's going to be 2.8% times 9, and that will give us 0.252 kilograms. And then for our fish meal, it's going to be 4.5% times 4, which will be 0.18 kilograms. So now let's add up the lysine content that we've gotten. That will be 0.67 kilograms. So this feed contains 0.67 kilograms. Are we within range? Yes. In this our finisher feed, you are supposed to have 0.65 to 0.7 kilograms of lysine. And our feed has 0.67 kilograms of lysine. So we are within range. There's no need to add any supplemental lysine to our finisher feed 1. So now let's take our finisher feed 2. This was the component of our finisher feed 2, the formulation that we had. So now let's do the calculations. So now let's find the lysine content in our finisher feed 2. So for maize, it's going to be 0.25% times 65 kilograms, which will be 0.1625 kilograms. And then for wheat bran, it's going to be 0.35% times 21 kilograms, and that will be equal to 0.0735 kilograms. And for our soya beans, it's going to be 2.8% times 14 kilograms, and that will give us 0.392 kilograms. So now let's add up and see. Adding up, we are going to get 0.628, approximately 0.63 kilograms of lysine. Does this fall within our range? No. We said we need 0.65 to 0.7 kilograms of lysine, and this feed contains 0.63 kilograms. So that means that we need to add some supplemental lysine. How much of it? Let's do our subtractions. 0.65 kilograms minus 0.63 kilograms, which will give us 0.02 kilograms, which is equal to 20 grams. And then 0.7 kilograms minus 0.63 kilograms, which will give us 0.07 kilograms, which is also equal to 70 grams. So it means that to our finisher feed 2, we need to add 20 to 70 grams of lysine to make our feed complete. So I think that at this point, something has become very clear to us. We see that from the starter stage to the finisher stage, we had two formulations for each stage. And for one of the formulations, there was fish meal, and for the other, there was no fish meal. Remember I said that the feeds that contain some amount of fish-based ingredients in the diet will have a higher lysine content because the fish ingredients contribute a higher amount of lysine. So you realize that for the formulations that had fish meal, they were up to standard with our lysine requirements. But the ones that were without fish meal were not up to standard with our lysine requirements. So if you do that comparison, you see that it is clear. So if you have any additional questions on lysine or anything else, kindly drop that in the comment section and I will address that. Oh, before I even go, tomorrow Sunday we are having a live stream. So over here we are going to be discussing the challenges facing the pig farming industry. What are some of the challenges you are facing? You can share your challenges or things that you found that help you combat some of the challenges, and then anything that you have, let's discuss. So let's meet on Sunday to have those discussions. Until then, I'll see you in another kitchen. Bye for now.